To get us started, I'm going to invite Jim Minehart up to the front with me. Please welcome him. Good morning. All right, I'll get the mic for you.
Nap time.
That's right. I'm going to just get really comfortable here. So I had the privilege of speaking to Jim and his wife, Barb, in preparation for today. So I just really want to thank you for your willingness to share what God has done for you and your family through this church body. So why don't you just start off by sharing with us how this became your church home?
Well, 10 years ago, my mother went to this church, and she became sick. Pastor John was here at the time, and he'd visit with her once a week, and she passed away. We had the service here. We had the luncheon here. Well, the following Sunday, my wife, and pretend she's here, she's very camera shy. So I'm talking for both of us.
Yeah.
We came here to thank Pastor John and the ladies that put on the luncheon. And before the service and after the service, we didn't know a lot of people. They started coming up to us, giving us their condolences, shaking our hand, introducing themselves, and we just couldn't believe it. Well, the following Sunday, we came back. Following Sunday after that, we came back, and we've been coming back ever since.
Yes. So, Jim, what kept you and Barb coming back? What was it about? Just how open people were and friendly?
The congregation themselves, the pastor, realizing that we needed God in our lives more than we had, and we started coming back. If you told me back then, 10 years ago, that I would be sitting up here in front of you, I kind of snickered. But we're proud to be here. We're proud to serve our church. We're glad to call this our home with our family, the congregation.
Yeah, I think that was one of the themes that came through with everyone that I talked to, really describing this place as their family. So what does your church family mean to you?
Oh, it means people that we can confide in. 2 years ago, I ended up having open heart surgery. You cannot believe the calls of visitation from the congregation. I've got a stack of cards like that at home. I mean, that's just something that really means a lot to you. It gets you through tough times. And just to come with the congregation to worship, to share your times with them, it's just great. That's why we do come back. We serve on different ministries. Like I say, Barb's camera shy, but she's back in the kitchen right now working. And we'll continue to do so.
Yeah. I know that Nick and I see you and Barb serving, and we just see the love that you give others in giving of yourself throughout the week, not just on Sunday. And I think you had something to share.
You know what? I'm going to have you read it.
Okay. I'll do that for you.
About 4 days ago, I went out the mailbox, and I got a card sent to me. And I'd like to share it with you because this is what the congregation does mean to us.
Yep. So we won't necessarily share who this is from, but they say, Jim, our thanks to you for sharing your servant heart with our KCC family. Serving in your elected position in the time that involves, plus stepping up when extra hands are needed. Hats off to you. And there are numerous names on this card. So.
It means, when I got this and I sat there reading it, this is what it means to me with this congregation, to take time out. I don't do what I do for recognition. I do it because I want to do it. I want to serve the Lord. This is a way I can do it in the things that I do. But when I get a card like this and people do notice, we don't notice and thank all the people up in the sound booth, the people back in the kitchen, the grounds crew. Everybody in this church is serving in a way. And I think if you ever get a chance, just thank them when you see them, because it does mean a lot when you get something like this.
Yeah. We've been alluding to change You can see it in the lobby if you're new here. These seats weren't quite as filled a couple of years ago. So I hope you feel it and you can sense how God is evident here. Can you share how God is really pushing you and Barb out of your comfort zone? One, you're sitting here right now. But
Right.
I know specifically you joined a small group recently. I mean, you'd been going here for 10 years and finally made the jump and joined a small group. Tell me about that.
Well, the small groups have been going on. We had talked about it, and like I say, Barb is very shy. She's, she doesn't at times, like sitting up here, she would be so nervous. And finally, I told her this year, I said, well, I think we're really going to join a small group. Well, she says, I don't think I can do it. And I saw a pastor one day, and I said, there she's sitting right there. Go get her. So
She did tell me it's hard to tell Pastor no.
Right.
So.
And she said that. So we did go to a small group. And we got all done that night. We're going home, and I said, what'd you think? And she says, you really want to know? She says, I enjoyed it. She said, I can't believe the people. We prayed, we learned, we saw a video, we discussed it, and the people that were coming up and thanking us for being there. And we've been going to the small group since, and we'll continue to do so. I would have people that aren't in them to really join, because it is a great thing.
Yep.
So.
Yep. I know that Barb shared with me that she didn't necessarily realize that her church family could feel even closer and more connected, and that's what the small group does for her. So.
All right.
So we've been talking about how God is doing amazing things around here. What are you guys most excited about?
I think we're most excited about the change period in the church. You see when you come in, the construction we're doing. Look around and see all the people here. 10 years ago, we didn't have this many people. It's grown. In the back, we didn't have kids in Sunday school 10 years ago. Now you go back there and there are kids there in the nursery, there are kids in the Sunday school. Barb and I are at the end of our, not end of our years yet, but it's the young people coming in here today that are serving, and they're coming in and they're serving right off. They're joining small groups. It's great to see, because that's what this church needs to go forward. The worship ministry, the music, it's great. It's what brings the younger people in. I hope it will continue, because we think it's great. And I see nothing but good things with our church going forward. We have a young pastor and family that has a great vision for this church. And we can see it happening when you look around. We can see it happening. So yeah. We're very enthusiastic about what's happening here.
Yeah. Your attitude is so exciting, because change is difficult. And so, I think that's probably the last question I have for you is, how does God help you have that attitude that you and Barb are in, you're just all in. Mm-hmm. Like I said, if the pastor asks her to do something, she says, I don't know, but okay, I'll do it.
Well, a little while ago, I had doubts, when we said we were going to tear the church apart, I had doubts. But when I see what's happening now and see the vision, see what it's doing, I think God's moving in a great way in this church. He's brought all these people here, and they're still bringing people here. He's bringing young people here. I think it's just a great way. I see great things for this church. Even after we're gone, the younger people sitting out here are going to be the congregation. They're going to be the ones that gets things done. Like I say, I serve the church as best as I can. I'm retired. I have things I can do, and I do it it's a way I can serve God. It's like Barb. She's a good cook. She's back in the kitchen. And she works on the meals for shut-ins. She does other things. She's on Adrian's team, and we're just happy to be a part of this church. I wouldn't have it any other way. And like I say, 10 years ago, if I'd have been up here, and I do. I'm nervous sitting here, but I'm not nervous, because I know all you people, and I'm glad I can share this with you because this church has changed Barb and I. The Lord, I don't know how the Lord led us here and got this into our lives like he did, but he sure works in mysterious ways because here we are.
Amen. Thank you so much, Jim.
You're welcome.